What's going on, guys? This is Anthony Camarda back with another video, and today it's going to be a little interesting because I've actually got a small scavenger hunt throughout this video for you guys to participate in. Now, as you can see, I've got this little logo of Slice of Life. We're gonna hide this logo in 3 different locations throughout this video. And if you guys find all 3 locations, you can comment in the video below and I'll shout out your comment in the next video. Now, today we're gonna be making a loaded baked potato pizza, which includes a roasted garlic and chives infused dough, mashed potato base, 3 cheese blend, sliced potatoes and bacon on top, garnished with truffle oil, grated parm, and green onions. And let's get started straight into the dough. Are you serious? For the beginning of the dough, we're actually gonna be using some garlic and some chives. I'm probably gonna grab like 2 or 3 cloves, throw that off to the side. We're gonna crush the garlic. So you take your knife, garlic clove, put it down on the cutting board, and you could take your knife, put it on top, simply crush. And then from there, it's perfectly easy to peel, just like that. So now I'm just gonna simply chop. I wanna dice it into the pan. So we're actually gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, and we're gonna put oil inside of the garlic. We're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter because we need shortening inside of the dough. Just gonna saute it until the garlic starts to brown a little bit. And since it's gonna be sitting in the pan for a minute, I'm gonna roast it just before it starts to turn brown, because when I kill the heat, it's gonna continue to brown. It'll be the perfect color, perfect texture, and everything. So this is how we roast the garlic. Bro, you looking like a mother. No. Now, we're gonna add this into our dough mixture, but first, what the hell is that? We got our chives. I've got them into a bunch, pretty similar to what we did to the green onions last time. We're gonna do the same thing and make small cuts because this is gonna be going straight into the dough and it's gonna be infused with it. Now we can start our dough mixture. And you see how the garlic is brown now? And it wasn't before I killed the heat, but it's because the pan was still hot to where now it's a perfect brown. We'll dump that in. Then the chives. Now here we got 3/4 cup of warm water. So the temperature of the water should be between like 100 to 110 Fahrenheit because we're gonna be dumping yeast in here. So yeast, when it activates, actually becomes a living organism. It's important that you don't kill the yeast inside because if you do, then your dough won't rise. So we're just gonna dump that in there. And you just wanna let it dissolve inside of the water for a little bit. It normally takes about 5 to 10 minutes and it'll begin to activate. So I like to do 1 part salt and then 2 parts brown sugar, just because when you do the sugar, it gives it more of like a sweet taste. Overall, it browns the dough a lot better. So we'll go ahead and mix that in directly with the rest of our mixture. So we're just kind of waiting for the yeast to activate. We probably got like 5-10 minutes. So for now, you can cut and then we'll just get back to it later.
Nah.
What?
I'm not gonna cut.
You better cut right now.
Well, what?
Once our yeast is activated, we just dump it right in there. And we'll start mixing. You don't wanna get that thing like cranking. It's fine if you do a slower speed. We're going to dump this flour in. Making dough is actually a big science. You need to make sure that you have your yields right. You need to have your measurements correct. So what I like to do is I like to add a little so that way we don't overcorrect and then cause a greater issue. Let's say, for example, I add too much water. Now I gotta add more flour to make it a little more solid. I've got 3 ounces of water right here. So I'm gonna add in about half of this for right now. And we'll just keep doing it in increments until I find the texture that I want the most. Right now we can see that the dough is a little bit on the clumpier side. So we're gonna add the rest of this water, which will be a full 3 ounces. And let that incorporate in with it. Now you can see that inside of the bowl, the dough has rolled up into a ball and it's currently being spun around. So now we're gonna splash it with a little bit of oil to give it some nice texture. The dough is gonna loosen up and come back together into a ball like how we saw it before. And once it comes back together, the dough is done. And the way that you could tell is when you take it and you feel it, it should almost feel like a softer version of Play-Doh. It's not sticking to my hand, it can fall off, but it's also not so dry that it just completely falls right at once. And I'm gonna portion this probably like 14 to 16 ounces or so. We're gonna take a little bit of our oil and we're gonna brush the bottom of the can that we got here, pick this dough up, and we're gonna roll it. Basically, you're just taking your hands and literally just rolling it so that way it's smooth on one side and you create a crater in the middle. Close up that hole, drop it in there, just like this. We'll just put some plastic over top of this, and then we're just gonna leave this at room temperature for about I would say 45 minutes to an hour. Next up, we're gonna be doing the base. I plan on putting mashed potatoes, sour cream, and ranch dressing, and then a few herbs or seasonings or whatever. First things first is when you're making mashed potatoes, you obviously want to peel the potato. To make the cooking process quicker, we're gonna cut these into smaller bits, and that's basically just gonna make it a lot easier to get thoroughly cooked. So that way it's not too soft on the outside, but still hard on the inside. All right, so then next, we've got our pot of water. We're gonna drop that right there. And we're gonna take a pinch of salt, put it in. And then from there, you can take your potatoes and just drop them in. All right, these mashed potatoes are done. Strain it. Drop those in there. Now we'll add our sour cream. I'm probably gonna do like 2 ounces or so. That should be good. Now for the ranch. Salt and pepper, granulated garlic, onion powder. Now we'll mash this up and mix. Look at that. That is gonna be an amazing base. Next objective is we need to get our toppings done. So the toppings that we're gonna be using are going to be bacon and potatoes. So I want a little bit of crisp in there as well. That's why we got the bacon, but with the potatoes, I'm actually going to be slicing them into thin slices so that way they can cook really nicely. Once we put them in the oven, get some crisp, and we'll also season them as well. We've got a mandolin here, but honestly, I don't mind doing it with a knife. So I'm just gonna continue to do it this way.
You go like any slower?
Get over here, you do it. Now we've got all of our potato slices cut. We're gonna put it into a bowl because we're gonna mix this up. So we're gonna start with some oil, oregano, basil, some salt and pepper, and some crushed red pepper flakes because I like spice. And we'll just mix it in the bowl. Then we'll take this pan and we'll lay it across. And now for the next topping. We've got bacon strips. All right, I know don't even acknowledge. I know you saw me smell the bacon, all right? Hold on, the phone's ringing, 1 sec. Shut the hell up. Sorry about that. So, we're gonna put this in the oven for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. Really, I just wanna make sure that the potatoes are golden brown and that the bacon is basically, yeah. Oh my God, dude. This world's so up. So it looks like our bacon and potatoes are done. We're gonna transfer this to a separate pan. We're gonna put paper on top so that way it can dry out some of that grease and it'll make it nice and crispy. And once we're ready to chop these, then we'll get back to it. I'm gonna do it almost like rectangles/squares. This is perfect. And now for my favorite part of the pizza that I like to do is the cheese. What, we're just throwing stuff now? I guess I'll let you guys know about my brand new Slice of Life newsletter that is gonna be on my Patreon that's fully available to you guys right now. These newsletters come out every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. You guys will get weekly advanced updates of whatever it is that I'm doing for not only my pizzas that I'm making, but my channel in general, what plans I have, and the whole nine. In every single newsletter, I have a next video section where you guys can see which video it is that I'm gonna be making. And in the community, you guys can give me full-on insight before I even shoot the video, what you would like to see on the pizza or different ideas and suggestions. So you guys actually get an exclusive coverage of everything that I'm doing before you even see it on this channel. I'm gonna have polls, chats, newsletters. Pretty soon I'm gonna be doing a shop with merchandise and collectibles. Make sure you guys go check it out and I'll leave the link in the description. And now back to the cheese. So the 3 cheeses that we have for today are sharp cheddar, which is gonna be the main cheese for our pizza today. And then we've also got a fontina cheese that's gonna complement the sharp cheddar really well. And lastly, we've also got smoked Gouda. When you're grating it, you want to do the most longest side. Now you can see I've already grated it before. Bro, not only is it easier for you to cut, but it melts super well. So if you just bring it straight down into long strides like that, then you'll get strings that are super thick and extra long. So we'll just go in, plop that in there, and then finish off with the smoked Gouda. Beautiful. Let's make this pizza. Start with our dough, As always, it's nice and fluffy. Drop it down, press out the crust around the edges, stretch it out, and here we go. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, turning on post notifications, because we're gonna continue to make pizzas like this, and it's gonna get only crazier. So now we got our mashed potato base. We're gonna mix in our cheese blend, roasted potatoes, as well as our bacon. Send it in the oven. Name somebody who has ever made a loaded baked potato pizza. I'll wait. Do I need to say anything? First, we're gonna drizzle our truffle oil. Now our grated parm, finished off with green onions. And now we have ourselves a masterpiece of a loaded baked potato pizza. Ready? Here we go. The back of it, nice and crispy, no flop. Overall, it's just beautiful. Buon appetito. I'll be honest, I've been compiling a recipe book, and all of my top tiers pizzas I'm going to be incorporating into that book. I think this is gonna end up in there. This is actually an amazing pizza all around. I like genuinely have no complaints. So if you enjoyed today's video and if you found all of the Slice of Life logos, let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.